Hello, my fellow adventurers! This is Mloentje, and welcome back to Throne and Liberty. Guys, today we are not gonna go over some new piece of content or content that I have basically not recorded yet. Today we are gonna go over something that I've been building on for a while, and I'm actually pretty proud of that I got to this place. And I'm not even at the max of what I could accomplish in this game, guys, because the last pieces are pretty hard to get, let's call it that. From the start that I started playing this game, I was always sure that I was gonna be a healer. And looking at the traits and everything else in the game, I noticed that there was cooldown speed in the game. And as a healer, I have only one thing in mind. Can I get my cooling speed so far that I have almost 100% uptime on my skills? And yeah, you can see right now, Fountain of Life, 10.3 seconds, guys, with the amount of cooldown speed that I have in the game. 3.4, Genesis Rage, 12.9, 12.9 for Flash Wave, 3 seconds for Touch, Time 12 seconds, Marker 17 seconds, Invisible Wall 17 seconds, Blessed Barrier 17 seconds, Nature's Blessing 25 seconds. Now, how am I getting to Fountain of Life with only 10 seconds, guys? The cost normally is 36 seconds. Well, right now, this is not really a good way to show it, honestly, because right now, Gigantorite's Blessing is active. And in my build out, I'm actually using Wand of the Skyward Blessing. While Gigantorite's Blessing is active, recovery skill cooldown is plus 40%. Look at all my stats. I have 74.9% cooldown speed, and that is without the 40% from my tome. This is the stats that I have for my gear, not from my tome. So that means with the tome, I get to 114.9% cooldown in the game, basically reducing all of my skills to 1/3 of their actual timer, even more than 1/3 of their timer, guys. Especially on Fountain. But now this is only active during Gigantorite, so that's 20-30 minutes in the game and no longer. That's why I don't really look at it at the 40% extra. That's just like every time Gigantorite is active, I'm gonna have such a fun time healing, because Fountain of Life is gonna be up every 3 seconds. Now you might be wondering, 3 seconds? What the hell? Yes, 3 seconds, and we'll get to that later on. Ashy, come on, I'm recording. Don't bring it to rain right now. So where am I getting all of my cooldown from, guys? Well, let's check out my character, right? 74.9%, not including the 40%, of course. 40% is on top. So I'm getting 5% from my wisdom. I'm a healer, so getting an increased wisdom is good, right? I got 30 dexterity and 47 strength. So if I reset all my stats, I got 33 wisdom, 30 dexterity, 21 strength. So where am I getting these stats from, guys? Well, first off, Shadow Harvester's Mask, Supreme Devotion, Ascendant Guardian Raiment, Gildan Raven Grips, Ascendant Guardian Pants, Gildan Raven Boots, Blessed Templar Choker, Ascendant Guardian Bracelet, the Ember Dimensional Band, the Sapphire Dimensional Band, and the Belt of the Bloodlust. Together with Tupelix Deathmark Longbow, and then Wand of the Skyward Blessing. Wand of the Skyward Blessing does need to be replaced. I'm so unlucky getting Excavator's Wand. Excavator's Wand will give me 9 more strength. It will remove the mana cost efficiency, so that's gonna be a big hit for me. But even then, I think we will be good, because we also have mana cost efficiency from Tupelix Deathmark Longbow, as you can see. So 5% from wisdom, right? Here we go. That is 5%. Let's apply. That's 5% cooldown speed. We need 30 dexterity. Now, why do we need 30 dexterity? Well, a while back, the Gildan Raven set was included into the game. And the Gildan Raven set, the 2 bonus, actually gives you 8% cooldown speed for 30 points into dexterity. It says when dexterity is over 30, and you would think like, okay, then you need to have 31 or 32, right? No, 30 is enough to get the 8%. And with the gear that I'm using in this set, and Excavator Wand will not change that because it will only give me more strength. Basically, I already have 30, so I don't need to invest any points into it. I will lose 8 perception because of the wand, but that will go into strength. So again, it will not change the dexterity and the 50 wisdom I need to get, right? So that's the dexterity for the Gildan Raven grips for the 8%. Then we've got a healer set, the Ascendant Guardian set. And actually for the 2 sets, we get 7.5% cooldown reduction. So it was like, okay, so which 4 pieces do I want to take? Then I noticed the Shadow's Harvester's Mask, which actually has cooldown speed as a perk on it. So dexterity, wisdom, cooldown speed, 4%. But it also has cooldown speed as a trait, meaning that on the Shadow Harvester's Mask, I can get 10% cooldown speed. Meaning it was obvious that I was gonna need to use these 4. Now I looked at like the stats, like I said, at the stats that I needed, and this is the setup that I came off. These 5 items together with the rest will give me the 30 dexterity, and later on I'll remove the perception a little bit more, which I don't really need, and I can maybe go into more wisdom, maybe more cooldown speed, or I can go even higher into strength because that will give me HP and basically survivability, right? We don't want to be a one-shot build with this build. So where else, guys? Well, the mask 10%, the 2 set 7.5%, the 2 set here for the ribbons 8%. From our cloak, we are getting 3% as a stat. There is no trait, only the stat, 3%. Blessed Templar Choker, we're getting 4.2%. Plus it also has the mana cost efficiency, which is gonna be pretty important. Now, we get to this later. The bracelet, no cooldown speed, guys. The rings earlier did not have cooldown speed. And the belt, no cooldown speed. Now, runes got introduced into the game, and that basically means that on our rings, we can also get 3% cooldown speed, plus 2 strength. So that's another 6% cooldown speed. Blessed Templar Choker, max health and 2 wisdom. This is also where I'm getting 2 points of my wisdom from. So that is, maybe the wisdom part isn't as important from the traits, because we do need to place points into our wisdom to get to the 50. But it helps out, right? Meaning that we can get higher into strength and we can get more survivability. Later on, we can even go to 50 strength, which will be important, is because we want a heavy attack chance for our heals to heal even more, right? So that is truly important to be able to get to that. That's also why we need Excavator's Wand to get to that. And then later on, because, well, we're not even having every cooldown speed that we have. If we would go for Devon's Wand, we can get another 15.5% increased cooldown speed, guys. So on top of the 74 that I already have, we can get 15.5% more. Meaning I would be getting 89.9. So where else are we getting our cooldown from? Well, then we're gonna need to look at our skills. And most importantly, we're gonna need to look at our wand, which has cooldown speed here at the top. And then of course, Greedy Need, or cooldown speed, so it's 8% that we can get from the damage tree. We can get 2% from the pure healing tree, and most healers would actually go here, and I actually want to go here as well, because heavy attack chance again, buff duration, pretty important. But the next one I'm going for is this 2% over here. So I'm gonna neglect really good stats, guys, just to get this 2% here. And on top, this 2% on top of Tenet would give me 91.9% cooldown speed, guys. So almost 92% in the game. On top of that, the 40% from Gigantrite, that's 130% cooldown speed that you can get in the game. That is freakishly insane, right? Longbow has Gale Arrow, 4% cooldown speed. So that's another way I'm getting my cooldown speed. Now, if you want to look at my skill specializations, guys, Nature's Blessing, I want to reduce that cooldown. Deadly Marker, I want to apply an additional bullseye stack against Stalkers with a Deadly Marker. Flash Wave, of course, because I'm a healer. Limit Break, I want to reset the cooldown, of course, and I also want to get the cooldown reduction off of that. For the wand, I'm using every one in the Swift Healing tree. Blessed Barrier, I make sure that it is active for everybody. So it's not only one target, I can apply it to everybody. Invisible Wall, apply it to everybody. So constantly everybody a shield up. And then Fountain of Life, recover mana also. Increase the radius. And I also want to increase the duration. Also pretty important, getting it from 4 seconds up to 6 seconds duration. That is pretty good. And then, well, this is a favorite pick. You can do this. Go Invisible Wall, increase range, and then go increase range for Clay Salvation, the healing, right? Now, if I go into a party with guild members who I know that I can trust not to die from every attack, basically not go up, I would say, I'd rather remove these two and go Genesis Rage just for the increase on damage for the entire party, right? 6% increased damage. And these are the traits that I'm using, guys, or these are the specializations that I'm actually using for this cooldown build. And, well, what result is it? Well, is Gigantorite almost over? I kind of want to look at it without Gigantorite because this number isn't correct. Normally, I would have 18.5 seconds on Fountain of Life, guys. Okay, it seems in the Amatoy house, Gigantorite's Blessing is not active on me. So bringing out the actual cooldowns, I play like 95% in the game with. Like, the cooldowns I showed you before are just like really exceptional for only the 20 minutes, right? So Fountain of Life, 18.5 seconds, guys. Swift Healing, 6.2. We got Genesis Rage, 23.2 seconds. We got Flash Wave, 23.2. Touch of Despair, 3.4. We got Time of Punishment, 12 seconds. Deadly Marker, 17.2 seconds. We got Invisible Wall for 17.2 seconds. We got Blessed Barrier, 17.2. Nature's Blessing, 25.7. And then for Limit Break, it's not completely upgraded yet, so I can't get that cooldown to 1 minute. I have no idea. I haven't really checked it yet, how much cooldown reduction we can get on Limit Break, like how many seconds it actually is before it resets. Because that depends on how many deadly markers we can apply. That depends on how many crits people do. Because that is the rotation, right? We place Touch of Despair. Then we place Time of Punishment. Then we do Deadly Marker. Because what does Deadly Marker do? It shoots an arrow that has a 98% chance to mark the target for 9 seconds. Attacking the marked target increases the user's magic, melee, range, critical hit chance. Really, really important. The critical hit chance, 240. And the magic and melee ranged hit chance. So you're increasing the hit chance and the critical hit chance. If people can't hit the target, they're not gonna crit the target. Makes sense, right? Now what happens when people crit the target? Each critical hit decreases all skill cooldowns by 1% for the user and party members. Meaning everybody in my group that is critting is lowering their own and my cooldowns even further. Attacking a marked monster decreases all skill cooldowns by 50%, stacking up to 100 times. So basically, I throw my well. So what I do is, Touch of Despair, Time of Punishment, Deadly Marker. I reset my Deadly Marker with Limit Break, place Deadly Marker again to actually get multiple stacks of Deadly Marker on the target. So it does stack on top of each other, giving me even more cooldown. Every crit is now going to be 2% cooldown speed, right? But that's only the initial burst. And then I place my fountain. And instantly after you place your Deadly Marker, guys, you need to place your fountain. You need to activate your Invisible Wall. These are both the skills that have 18.5 and 17.2. That's why Fountain of Life goes first and then your Invisible Wall. Then you can throw on Blessed Barrier, what I usually do on top of my Fountain of Life, meaning everybody that is standing in my Fountain of Life will get defense up by 2100 for 6 seconds, healing received by 48% during the day, and magic and melee and range endurance increased by 48 at night. So everybody standing in my fountain is going to get a 48% increase healing. Then we place Nature's Blessing, but Nature's Blessing is like 25.7%. Same as with Genesis Rage, 23.2%. We cannot 100% uptime these yet, because we are not at our max yet. I do believe if I can get to 90% cooldown speed, like eventually get Devin's wand and actually get my build where it needs to be, I do believe Deadly Marker will reset so often that we can get the timer for Genesis Rage and for Nature's Blessing so far down that we have 100% uptime on those as well. But the main three that we will be having up constantly will be Fountain of Life, Invisible Wall, and Blessed Barrier. Constantly. And Nature's Blessing and Genesis Rage is really not that far behind. And then here and there you throw in a Flash Wave. But you won't have any more time than that. Like, it is really restricted. You're gonna be throwing spell after spell after spell after spell, and the only thing you need to remember is I cannot use Fountain of Life, Invisible Wall, or Blessed Barrier, or any skills before I use Deadly Marker. Because Deadly Marker is on top of the target for 9 seconds, right? So for 9 seconds we're getting those crits and those reductions, so you need to throw your heals after your Deadly Marker. And, well, with 114%, it is incredible. Like I said, I can throw my Fountain every 3 seconds. Right now, Fountain lasts for 6 seconds. Flash Wave, or what is it? Invisible Wall, 6 seconds. Blessed Barrier, 6 seconds. Nature's Blessing, for 4 seconds. So, keeping Nature's Blessing up is pretty hard. It's not going to be up 100%, but these three are. Because we can get our cooldown from 18.5 to 19 seconds, and then with the crits of everybody in the party, get it down to 6 seconds. Or if the crits are really good, like, if you're gonna fight a boss, he's gonna have mechanics that interrupt people. If the people get interrupted, stunned, that is a moment they're not gonna be doing crits. If they don't do crits, you're not gonna get your cooldown and your rotation will be off. So, for now, in this build right now, my rotation is not always 100% up. Simply because I don't have... I think if I have the 90% cooldown, I would have every time. Even if people get stunned, or me get stunned, or whatever happens that we get interrupted in the rotation, I think I might be able to still keep everything up 24/7. Now, sometimes it doesn't fit. Or you lose your marker, and then you placed your Fountain of Life, or... like, some stuff just does happen that interrupts the flow a little bit. And then sometimes you just need to wait a little bit before Deadly Marker is back, before you can go into the rotation again. And I took some footage from our guild going at some world bosses, guys. And I think it shows pretty well what I actually mean on how fast my skills come back and how fast I can keep the buffs up. I might be making some mistakes in there, like I always do. I'm not perfect. I'm still working on... like earlier, I was playing with my Nature's Blessing instead of the Invisible Wall, so these two were actually switched out. And then noticed that Invisible Wall had a lower cooldown than Nature's Blessing, so I was using I was going like 1, 2, 3, right? Using the skills. Because Nature's Blessing had a longer cooldown, Invisible Wall was not falling long enough under my Deadly Marker to get enough cooldown to have a 24/7 up. So I basically placed it after my Fountain, I do my Barrier, I do my Blessed, and that all falls nicely into that cooldown reduction from the Deadly Marker. And because we cannot get the 100% uptime on Nature's Blessing, basically it's good enough that we use it after we actually placed what we can keep up, right? And that's the train of thought on the actual... well, where I want to go with this build. Like I said, I'm not done yet. So I cannot show you the end result, or I need to spend a lot of money in the game to buy Devin's wand, guys. Now, why have I have Cursed Nightmare in here? Well, basically, I see a lot of dungeons, co-op dungeons, runs still, guys, with NPCs that need to be stunned. If you don't have a warrior with you or a tank that can actually stun, Cursed Nightmare works the same. It puts the enemy to sleep. Sleeping is not being able to interact anymore. So if you have two NPCs that form a barrier between them and you need to interrupt one to kill the other, Cursed Nightmare works. And I see a lot of longbow players out there and other healers as well just playing, and we get parties where nobody is able to stun and we wipe because of it, or the dungeon takes too long because the NPC that we need to kill we can't kill. Cursed Nightmare just helps out a lot in those situations, and even for PvP. I love to throw Cursed Nightmare at Endere whenever I see him. So yeah, really fun. Let's go watch at the fights that I that I recorded earlier, guys, on the world boss, and then you better see. Like I said, I'm gonna make some mistakes. The rotation is gonna get messed up in one of the fights, but the general gist, you'll be able to see how fast my skills come back and how good the uptime is on all of the skills if I actually wanted to. And do it properly. All right, and then this should be a good fight to show off what I actually mean, right? So yeah, starting up with the rotation. Go. Place the marker, reset it. You get a stun, place the marker, then go fountain. We can do nature, get increased healing in there. We can get some shields up. And as you can see, can already marker, can already put my fountain back up, can already do blessings back. Increased healing and shields. And this just rotates over and over and over again. Fountain was almost gone. There we go. We got it back. Nature's blessing back. We got a shield back. Put some increased healing in there. Reset it. It's going a little slow. People are getting stuns, and if they're getting stuns, they can't do damage. If they can't do damage, they can't crit, of course. And the same is actually applied to me. So marker. Yeah, I'm getting a little bit off track on the cooldown. You need to make sure that you are doing your fountain exactly the second after you're doing your fountain. Well, you do a fountain right after you place your marker. Else rotation really just falls apart. But I kind of, like I said before, I'm not at the cooldown that I can be. Markers up, fountains up, right before it disappeared. Let's put some more shields up there. Get some increased healing in there. Make sure that my dots stay active. Another nature blessing. Put it back up. Put it back up. Like everything rotates consistently and you're not running out of mana. Like see the amount of mana that I actually lost. Even though I'm casting skills one after another, the nature's blessing, and then for the melee party that's standing at the boss, the fountain of life basically makes sure that even rogues with their insane mana drain don't really, if the crits are okay, if the rotation is okay, the cooldown is properly, they will not lose out on mana. They can try to bottom out, but it's gonna be hard on them if they use their own mana refresh thing, right? I'm not really sure what it's called again, but they can switch HP for mana, if I do believe. But yeah, that's kind of the rotation, guys. You reset the marker with your limit break, reset it again, and from that you can just keep casting and casting and casting. It is so much fun, and it is so much support, so much healing that you can do without actually, because that was the first thought that I actually had when I was thinking like, okay, if we can actually get our skills instantly back, like isn't it gonna drain my mana just way too hard, right? But eventually that kind of fixed itself because we could get nature's blessing up really well. Let's get a casting there as well. Here we go. Let's see. There we are. We are a little slow. Nature's blessing up. Keep that increased healing up for the party. Get some rage in there. Markers up. Fountains up. I think we're off with a second. Like, you kind of need to use all your skills the second after you use marker. Else, it's only the first initial hits on the marker that actually will help your cooldown, right? So you can see here that my sheer invisible wall that should be on a faster cooldown than my fountain sometimes isn't on a faster cooldown, and that is because I cast the second that I cast my marker is when I cast my fountain, but I do nature's blessing, I do blessed barrier, and then do invisible wall. So I should actually change my rotation to first do invisible wall right after I do fountain of life. We can try that out. See, I'm still working on the builds and how to put up the skills and where to put up the skills. So let's quickly see if we would implement barrier before. Nature's blessing is the biggest one, right? 25, 17, 17. So yeah, these two should be in line with each other that way. Let's go in again. And yeah, we still need a lot of Adenta swords, guys, and a lot of swords that we're actually looking, and excavator. Okay, buffs up, reset, marker up again. Here we go. Shields, increased healing, mana regen. It feels better. Marker up, fountain up, shields up. Yeah, this feels better. This feels better. Increased healing. Increased healing doesn't really matter all that much. Marker up, they're up, shield up. Yeah, that's better. That's better. Get some increased damage in there. Here we go. Increased healing, mana regen. Markers up, fountains up, shields up. Yeah, this feels right. Holy crap, but I didn't notice this before. Get some increased healing in there. Okay, now it took a long time to reset everything. And I'm way off with my... Yeah, I only have 3 seconds left. So that's not really gonna reset. And see, now I placed my marker, but I'm still off. Because I didn't like... You need to place it like right after each other. Else it just doesn't work. Marker, fountain, shields. And some mana. Now, because I stopped my rotation, you can see basically people are bottoming out on their mana. Because I stopped using the Nature's Blessing. I waited 1 round because my rotation was a little bit off. Now, you can't just keep going in that rotation, right? Like, it might be a little bit off, but you're still getting a lot of cooldowns. But it's not 100% uptime anymore. And there we go, guys. Like I said, if Gigantrite is active, that is the most fun to play the build, because you could just spam everything endlessly. It's just so fun. But even without the Gigantrite's Blessing of 40%, guys, the build is just... It can be stable if you don't have too many interruptions. But it's so fun to play. And it's so good. Like, just being able to keep up every buff and every resource, like the mana regen from Fountain and the healing from Fountain and everything else that I can provide for my team to survive, right? To be able to focus on their fight, and even if they take a little bit of damage, my shield will take it. Like, it just feels so right. And honestly, whenever I play PvP in my PvP build, I'm like, my skills are so slow now that I'm used to this. So yeah, guys, I'm gonna end up this episode here. It was really fun working on this. I think this is one of the first, this is the first build video that I ever did in Throne and Liberty. I did some other build videos somewhere in Destiny once, but it's normally not something I do. But this is definitely something that I'm really proud of. So yeah, if you saw the video and were like, holy crap, I am using this for my DPS builds as well, and it's incredible, guys. Like the ranged staff longbow build that I have right now, I can spam so hard and so fast. My mana just drains instantly. Sometimes it's just uncontrollable. But yeah, if you learn anything, if you like the build, if you want to see more of my, well, basically I do quest run-throughs, guys. I check out new stuff in the game. I hardly do any build videos, but if you want to see any more of my content of Throne and Liberty, or any other content that I might release now or in the future, just hit that subscribe button, guys. It would always help out a lot. We recently got to 2,000. My personal marker is on 2,500, so that is where I want to get at the end of 2025. That would be incredible if I can get there. If you like the video, give the video a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, put them down in the section down below. You all know how it goes. Like I said, hope you enjoyed the video, guys. See you in the next one.